Okay, so this is the second part about congruence proofs. The first part I showed you some full proofs. I went through the whole thing. What you're more likely to see, though, is something like this here, number 4, where you're given part of the proof and you have to fill in the blanks. It's going to work the same way. We're just going to kind of have to work it a little bit backwards. Okay, so we're trying to prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC. And that, again, that's our last step, as it should be. First thing we want to do is look at the picture and whatever we're given and figure out which theorem we're going to use. So we're going to kind of start at the bottom. What's our reason for saying these two triangles are congruent? We've got two sides, we've got two angles, and we also have these vertical angles. We should always be looking for those vertical angles, right? Okay, I've got angle, angle, and side. So I'm going to use angle, angle, side to prove that these two are congruent. Remember, it's not angle, side, angle. The difference between angle, side, angle and angle, angle, side is that with angle, side, angle, the side would have to be between the two angles. So it would have to be like AC and DC are congruent. I don't know that those are congruent. That's not something that I'm given. So I'm going to use angle, angle, side. The side is not included. Okay, AB is congruent to DE. Well, how do I know that? Oh, let's think of it this way. So first of all, I've got my side here. I've got one pair of angles here. If I'm using angle, angle, side, I need another pair of angles, so that's what's going to go in the middle here. AB is congruent to DE. So AB is congruent to DE. That's given. That's given. That's part of the picture. Anything that's in the diagram, marks that are in the diagram when you get it, those are given also. That counts as a given. Let's go down here. What do I have here? BAC, angle BAC, angle EDC. So BAC, EDC. Those are congruent. That's also given, right, by these marks here. Now, the last thing I have is these two. We're not going to call them angle C, right? We're going to call that angle BCA. Well, that's congruent to angle DCA. Remember, I knew that there was going to be another angle statement that goes in here. Okay, so that's where that's going, because I'm using AAS, so I needed another angle statement. How do I know those are congruent? I don't like that they put given here. Sometimes you'll see that, but really the reason is that they're vertical angles. I think we should be more specific about that. Okay, so vertical angles, that tells me that these are congruent. And I'm done. Everything's filled in. So we don't really go through it and like step by step start with step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. We go through and we just sort of fill in what we know. I think the easiest place to start, though, is always down here. What are you trying to get to? That will tell you what things you need to have up here. I need to have two angles and a side. Right? Let's try number 5 here. This page. Get that in picture. Okay. All right. So, given all this, AB is congruent to DE, AC is congruent to DF, angle A, angle D are congruent. I'm trying to prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, ABC, DEF. So what theorem am I going to use? It should be pretty obvious. Side, angle, side. Angle's in between the two sides, so that's side, angle, side. And so now I know that I'm going to have two side congruent statements and one angle congruent statement. Well, I've got one side statement here. I've got an angle statement here, so I'm going to have another side statement in the middle there. This one, AB, is congruent to DE. How do I know that? It's given. How do I know that angle BAC is congruent to angle EDF? That's also given. Last thing I need is another side. Well, I've got AB, DE, so the thing I'm missing is AC and DF. So AC is congruent to DF, and that's also given. And I'm done. I've filled in the whole proof. Let's look at this last one here. Yeah, this one's interesting too. Below are the reasons. So this one, they've given you all the reasons. And I think one thing that you're supposed to know is that RS and TU are parallel. Yeah, I'm not going to do this one because I don't like the way it's set up. All right, so that's enough for now.